Got some real positive signs. Bob King, there was a statement released on his behalf within the last hour. I talked to the UAW. They said that they are negotiating hard and they remain hopeful. Joe Ashton, the UAW vice president overseeing the contract talks right here at General Motors, has said they've reached a critical stage, so that's good. And it was seen as a very positive sign that Sergio Marchionne actually left the Frankfurt Auto Show early last night to fly home so he could be involved with contract negotiations at Chrysler today. Both General Motors and Chrysler have been negotiating with the UAW all day as they try to hammer out the final details on the issues, including the signing bonus, raises for entry-level or Tier 2 employees, profit sharing rather than guaranteed raises for more senior workers, and trying to keep health care costs down. The UAW has reportedly asked for signing bonuses as high as $8,000 to $10,000. Christian Dichek, who oversees labor for the Center for Automotive Research, says the bonus will depend on other factors in the contract.
The size of the signing bonus is all part of a very complicated puzzle around the core economics of the agreement, and it really depends on how they structure other things and other economic rewards or, potential benefits like profit sharing, if they institute gain sharing, what they do with wages, what they do with wages for the second tier. So I'm looking at something in the $3,000 to $5,000 range as a starting point, and there may be differences across the companies.
With Chrysler trying to launch an IPO, General Motors trying to get its stock price up, and Ford trying to earn an investment-grade rating, Wall Street is pressuring the Detroit Three to keep costs down and be competitive with the foreign car makers.
This set of negotiations is very closely watched, not just here in Detroit, but across the country and around the world, to see whether the companies and the union have learned their lesson and whether they will show that they can structure an agreement that's different, that doesn't drive them back to the same place they were in just a few years ago.
So there's tremendous pressure on the auto companies coming from financial analysts as well as Wall Street to be very careful and also show that they're being fiscally responsible, or they're going to get hammered by Wall Street. Live outside the UAW GM Training Center, I'm Mary Conway, Channel 7 Action News. Back to you.
Mary, they can go to binding arbitration, can't they? And if they can't strike, what would they do?
Well, that's exactly it, Diana, because they can't strike. They gave up that right during the bankruptcies. Both GM and Chrysler did. Ford could still strike. Now, neither side really wants to go to binding arbitration because that's a real wild card. You don't, from the company standpoint, you don't want to put your future in somebody else's hands. For the UAW, one of the things written into this round of negotiations was that they had to be fiscally responsible, and they're concerned that an arbitrator could rule against them. So they do want to reach this agreement on their own and not go to binding arbitration.
All right, keep us updated, Mary.